Good afternoon. Welcome to the special called meeting for the Citizens Advisory Committee for Community Development. This is the second meeting for the public input process for the CAC. And my name is Abby Shelton. I'm the Community Development Director for the City of Owensboro. I will be doing a brief presentation and then open it up for public comment. So alongside myself, I have Evan Gogol. He's our Housing and Grant Coordinator who helps administer the grants. Our citizen volunteers for the Citizens Advisory Committee is Rafe Buckner, Bruce Help, Daisy James, Joanne Kendall, Bobby McCormick, Ann Mulligan, and Titus Willis. And for the Monarch NRC Advisory Team, Deidre Carbon, Brittany Christian, Jim Estes, David Gaynor, Jacob Glahn, Donna Hughes, April Jennings, Adam Marshall, Nick Martin, Barbara Pointer, Sean Clemens, Sally Ward, and Stephen Wilhite. So this is the planning process for the new NRSA that will be opening up in July of this year. We are winding down the Northwest NRSA at this time. These are just some acronyms and terms that we use in the department, in the Community Development Department, and just something to keep in mind. Of course, this presentation will be available online for review in the future. So we are working on our consolidated plan process, and this plan is used to outlay what we're going to use our CDBG and home funds for the next 5 years. We also do an annual action plan that underlines the consolidated plan. Of course, it's done yearly, and this gives us an opportunity to adjust our course if we need to. The structure of the plan, so we've been engaged for about a year and a half, actually 2 years now, through engagement, needs assessment, market assessment, strategies and goals, annual action plan, and then put that all into a summary for your review. So we have 2 advisory group meetings thus far. We had our public input period is still going on. We've done consultations with developers, service providers, health services, and we will be doing one post-proposal public hearing later on. Date to be determined. So our neighborhood revitalization strategy area, is a term that HUD uses to delineate a specific group of census tracts that are at least 51% low to moderate income, and that area is predominantly residential. And this allows the city to effectively use our federal funding that we receive to stimulate private investment. The purpose is to increase homeownership, promote economic growth, preserve the unique characteristic of the neighborhoods, and address housing affordability and community safety needs. So this is the proposed boundaries for the Monarch NRSA, and these will be set in stone with a new plan that we will submit to HUD later in May. And we cannot submit our plan until our allocations are released. So we have key findings that we use to determine where we should spend our funding, including demographics. There's a total of 2,071 residents in the Monarch NRSA. 60% of those residents are classified as low to moderate income, which means that they're at 80% of the area median income. Economic disparities, the median household income is $36,000, and the poverty level of all residents that live below the poverty line is about 34%. So we also use PVA information to determine the status of the structures in the area, whether they're commercial or residential. 529 parcels are in fair condition, 227 are in average. 51 parcels are in poor condition, and that means over 72% of the parcels in the Monarch NRSA are in need of some kind of renovation. There are 167 properties with property maintenance violations, and this includes major structural violations, junk and tall grass, junk and trash, and then tall grass. The age of the structures is also important for us to consider, because if there's a housing stock, a solid housing stock. That means we can go in and provide money for people to rehab their homes. That is the case here in the Monarch NRSA, and you can see the dates ranging from 1851 to 2019 for residential buildings, and then commercial buildings are a little bit more recent, ranging from 1940 to 1970. Let's see. 65% of the homes are in fair condition. 72% of the properties require some form of rehabilitation. The housing demand is also important. This is not just a chasm here in Owensboro. It is a nationwide problem. We are in dire need of affordable housing, including rental units and then for sale units, new builds, or rehabs. And then realizing that the low to moderate income folks that live in the area, we have to be cognizant that there are a lot of them, that a lot of the renters that are cost burdened, which means that they spend more than 30% of their income on housing. So to provide safe and affordable housing for these folks is very important. And we also look at infrastructure and land use. So we have 32% single family homes, 36% rental, lots of vacant lots actually for that area, 8%, and then 23% commercial properties. So we did engage in public feedback. Stakeholder priorities included 90% demand for affordable rental housing, strong preference for homes priced between $150,000 and $200,000. Key issues that were revealed was rent affordability, substandard housing, and limited housing availability. Preferred housing styles include multifamily apartments, ranch homes, and low-cost fixer-uppers. Proposed initiatives with this plan. So for our housing solutions, I did state that we have a solid housing stock. So rehabilitation of the existing structures is very important. New construction can also be a method to which we can create affordability, keeping in mind that we keep the cost of the structures low. Economic development, including grants and technical support for small businesses, and mixed-use projects also present a good economic development opportunity for that area. There are some parcels downtown that would lend themselves to a good use for that. Infrastructure improvement. So, of course, you can always go into a neighborhood and say, hey, do we need better lighting or better connectivity? And that's something that we will be cognizant of looking forward in the next 5 years to make sure that we work with OMU and make sure street lights are working, and if they need to be placed elsewhere in that area, we'll do that. In addition, we will be engaging with local institutions to provide homebuyer education. That we already do that, but to continue to do that, and financial literacy programs. The outcomes are important because HUD, of course, always asks for those numbers, and annually we do submit that in our CAPER. So improved housing stability, increased rate of home ownership above 45%, reduce the housing cost, support small businesses, foster job creation, create community safety, and of course sustainability. Our draft budget for the CDBG and home funds, which are the only two allocations that we receive. And like I said, we have not received our allocations yet. We were supposed to get them in early May. But for 2025 to 2030, we expect to, of course, do our exterior rehabilitation, work with RWRA for downspout removal, other public services as needed, and that will include sewer connection for I think 13 or 14 parcels, and then we'll do commercial facade projects. On the home side, we'll do our community housing development organization, which is Habitat for Humanity. They will be building probably 5 houses for us, I would say, and then we will also have our down payment assistance program. So outcomes, performance measurements, of course, is what we use. We hope to have a total of 3.1 million for the federal side, and then a private match of 3.8 million. These are the outcomes we will report to HUD. As you can see that we have a baseline starting out with PVA value, down payment assistance projected of what we hope to facilitate. New homes constructed, of course these numbers are not solid, so they will change. and rate of home ownership. So that's something we measure for a total investment of $9.3 million. We also have our Community Catalyst grant program that uses local funds. We have a single family rental rehab program, single family new build, single family rehabilitation program, and a 50-50 demo program. Those are all 100% matching grants. Important dates. So February 26th, we had our first meeting. March 12th, a 30-day public comment began, but we will take comments up until we are able to submit our plan. And then April 16th, today is a second public hearing. We will present a municipal order to the City Commission, hopefully on May 6th, to send the plan to HUD for approval and then submit our annual action plan on around May 9th. And that's all I have. We can't approve any minutes because we don't have a full committee, so we'll do that next time. But Titus, do you have any comments? That's easy. Okay. Any comment from the... All right, well, that was quick. Anybody listening, if you have comments that you want to submit, feel free to email me, call me, or comment on Facebook, and we will pull your comments down and include them in the plan. Thank you.